93, 93, 93. This is the Mod Not Sure New from NotSureNew.com. We back in this bitch. Once again, this time we're going to speak about the true usage of the tarot, going beyond the mainstream, going beyond what we already know. So I'm here to put this into the atmosphere so that we all know better and we don't fall for the mainstream, because the tarot has been, you can say, westernized. It has been mixed, diluted, and tampered with. So it is no longer in its original form. So it has to be reformatted in your mental. So this is what we're doing. We're going through the process of bringing it back to the original form. See, the thing about the Thoth deck, which you can say is arguably the best tarot deck ever created in modern times. I'm not saying forever. In modern times, they say the best modern day tarot deck is the Thoth deck because of the literature that backs it. 93 Tech Mass. You know, third time's the charm, right? Third time's the charm. Because I'm speaking about this because, you know, this was the second topic that people wanted to hear more so than the Tantra. So I already dealt with the Tantra. You know, I already dealt with the astral plane. Now we're going to deal with the tarot, you know, to make it complete, right? So normally when it comes to the tarot, we look at it as a journey from the Fool to the universe or the world, right? You're starting off as a fool, and then you become the world, or you become universal. So basically the journey from the fool to the universe. That's how we look at it alchemically, right? It is a process. It is stages of development, growth in development. But let me introduce you into a alternative, which you probably haven't heard anywhere else. You probably won't hear it anywhere else, because, you know, this is the complete opposite. All I'm doing is applying the law of reversal. Because if we apply the law of reversal, which came from Aleister Crowley, right? If we apply the law of reversal, that means you are starting at the universe, and then you become the fool. Now you see on the surface, you say, okay, well, what sense does that make? We have to go back to the original language of the tarot. Because the original language, it was not called the fool. The fool was called La Met. La Met. L-E, La Met, M-A-T. La Met. Right, like Daleth, La Met. La Met means the madman. The madman. See, when we look at the fool, we look at somebody who's, you know, kind of airy, someone who's just out there just looking around, who just, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. I'm just going to go with the wind, right? So this is a purposeful confusion. Yes, Lamed is Libra. Yes, Lamed is Libra. Correct. Which the Hebrew letter Lamed definitely corresponds to Libra, which corresponds to adjustment, the adjustment card. Yes. So I'm just speaking about the pronunciation. So yeah, I'm not speaking about the actual Hebrew letter. You know, just Lamed, right? So this is what. Give me a second here. All right. Well, I don't know what the fuck just happened. That's crazy as fuck. Whole phone just locked up. The whole phone is locked up. That shit is crazy as hell. Whole phone got locked up. I had to reset the whole phone. Damn. Guess we really fucking up the algorithms today. Cause you see, they ain't playing with me at all. They ain't playing with me at all today. But I guess we really laying it down today, though. I ain't gonna lie, we really laying it down today. Let me get to what I was saying. If we go in reverse from the universe to the fool, which originally was called Lamet, which means the madman. You see, when we take it, translate it from English, we're fooled. That's why it's called the fool. Like, oh, we think, oh, it's the fool. This is somebody who is unknowing. This is somebody who's, unaware. This is somebody who's foolish. See, this is how we take it in English. So the fool in our English mind means someone who is foolish. But when we think about a madman, someone who is mad or someone who is crazy, you see, that's a whole different perspective. That's a whole different perspective. That's truly why the fool correlates to the planet Uranus. Because we know the planet Uranus is the planet of strangeness. These people are considered mad, very awkward. Correlates to the planet Saturn. And then the fool correlates to the planet Uranus. And we know Uranus is one of the three outer planets. And Saturn represents the inner planets, the last of the inner planets. Does that not make more sense to you? Because if we go forward, we're basically starting at the planet Uranus and we end up at the planet Saturn. The fool correlates to Uranus, then the universe correlates to Saturn. So that would be going from Uranus to Saturn. So you would be going into the inner planets from the outer planets. However, as we know, the goal is to get out of the pool of Saturn, which we know rules over Capricorn, which rules over the devil, which is everybody's fears. So if the goal is to dissolve your fears, if the goal is to conquer your fears and to deal with your own darkness, to deal with your own shadows, that technically makes you a madman or a mad woman, where the world looks at you very strangely. But that's exactly what the tarot is supposed to do. Because everybody already looks at you as crazy if you consider the tarot, if you take it seriously at all. So the world already looks at you as a cork. The world already looks at you as a pseudoscientist. Because you can say astrology, the tarot, all this is considered pseudoscience. So the world already looks at you with strange eyes anyway. But the fool just acknowledges that and accepts it. You have accepted your so-called foolish ways. You have become accepting of your quirkiness, of your strangeness, which is an introduction into the outer planets. Also, normally, we go from the wands, which is the fire element, to the disc, which is the earth element. But what happens when we reverse that? When we reverse that, now it becomes traveling up the tree of life. Because if we study the tree of life, you start at the lower planes of Malkuth, or Asia, which is the world of earth. The earth element. The earth element is at the bottom of the tree, and at the highest point of the tree is the fire world called Atziluth. So the journey is from Asia to Atziluth, and you're going through Yetzirah, Bira, and then you make it to Atziluth. So that's the journey up the tree, from the 10 to the 1. Malkuf is 10, and we know 1 is Kether. So you're making your journey up the tree, not down the tree. You're going up the tree. So you're starting in the earth, and you're making your journey to the fire, which is the archetypal realm or the archetypal world, which is your divine image, which is your true will, which is your thelema. So if the goal is thelema, and thelema just means will, and will resonates with the fire element, the goal is to embody the fire. The goal is not to embody the earth. We already embody the earth. We have a physical form already. This is not the goal. We're already here. The goal is to take your physical form into higher dimensions. Just like we say the Kundalini needs to travel up the chakras and stimulate the chakras. So if you start in the earth and you evolve into the fire, that's also applying the law of reversal. I'm just showing you how it applies in the major arcana and also in the minor arcana. So if you start at the world, which you already are in, we are already in the world, we are already in the matrix. The goal is to escape the matrix, right? Well, you escape the matrix by becoming a madman or a madwoman. Accepting your madness. That's the true escape of the matrix. It's not you living off of the grid somewhere. It's you accepting your strangeness and your craziness according to the world's view. Not that you're actually crazy, not that you're actually mad. You just appear to be that way. So you could say the fool appears to be that way. That's just an appearance. And that's what the English language does. The English language gives us the appearance of a thing. The English language is not taking us to the depths of a thing. So on the surface, it appears the fool is mad. On the surface, it appears that the fool doesn't resonate with the reality, with the matrix. But beyond the surface, the fool knows exactly what's going on. The fool has taken the journey from the matrix and has went through every chamber, all of the 21 chambers before it. So it represents the 22nd chamber, which is the final degree. And guess what? It actually means checkmate. Lamet also has a meaning of checkmate, especially when the tarot was used as playing cards. So before it was, they were using it for divination. They were using it just for like regular playing cards. Like, we have regular playing cards now, but before they were using the 52 card deck, they were using tarot cards. And when they were using tarot cards, the fool represented what we would call the Joker, right? And that Joker card, normally in the 52 card deck, you remove the Jokers. Right? When you're playing regular cards, you remove the Jokers. In some games, you can say you have the Jokers that stays in, but normally you remove the Joker. Why do you think you remove the Joker? Because the so-called Joker, especially in certain cards, you see the Joker is actually, and when you look at the image of the Joker, the Joker is like put as there, he or she, you have like the world. Let me see if I can just find an image of this. All right, let me pull it. Let me see if I can find an image of this. You basically see the fool is, it's like I can't even find the words for it right now. Hold on. Let me just find an image of this right now, so y'all can see what I'm saying here. Give me a second, because I want to give you a visual. If I can find the internet. Hold on. Because when we're speaking about the Joker is like a trump card. That's basically what I'm getting at here. The Joker is like a trump card. That means the Joker is more powerful than any of the regular cards. So in certain games, when you have a Joker, the Joker means you automatically win, right? The Joker means you automatically win. That's why the Joker or the Fool represents checkmate originally, because it trumped all the other cards. So the most powerful card was the Joker, aka the Fool. Am I lying or not? So if this is truly an alchemical journey, that means the most powerful card is the Fool. It's not the universe. So that means the last degree is not the universe. The last degree would be the Fool, aka the Madman, aka the Joker. And when you go to the Batman movie, who was the supreme villain? The Joker. Because the Joker didn't care about the Matrix, right? The Joker was burning the money, right? I did a whole breakdown of the Joker, in an older video. But this is essentially, that's why he was the supreme. And Batman represented the universe, represented Saturn. Just think about it. Is that not true? The Batman, the Dark Knight, is that not Saturn? And he is battling the Joker? This is alchemy being played out in front of us, but we don't even know it. We don't even know it, right? Let me show. Let me pull up this. Hold on. For whatever reason, I can't find the internet. Here we go. Let me pull up the Joker card so y'all can see what I'm saying here. So I'm gonna type in the Joker playing card. He's distilling cards to the world, right? So it's like cards are falling out of his hands onto the world. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. What's up, Luciferian, Jesus lover? Let's see. Yeah, here we go right here. Here we go right here. Right here. This is what I'm talking about. So you see the Joker. You see cards are being dispensed to the world, right? So you see the Joker is standing on top of the world, right? Meaning that he or she is the trump card, right? So there we go. That's what I'm saying. So just because we see the universe or the world as the final degree, it's really not, because the Joker stands on top of the world. So if the Joker stands on top of the world, the most supreme card is the Fool. That's why they named it the Fool, to fool you. The Fool appears to be foolish, but the Fool is actually the most intelligent. That's what I'm getting at. The Fool appears to fool you, but in reality, it is checkmate. It is the trump card. That's why they remove it from the Matrix, aka most playing card games remove the Joker because it trumps everything else. So they remove it just to balance the deck. The deck is only balanced when you remove the Joker cards in most games. You see what I'm getting at here? I'm just showing you the evidence. So when you reverse it, instead of starting off from the Fool and you become the universe, you are already the universe. But you become the Fool, because that is your supreme self, as we have just seen. Your supreme self is the Fool. Your supreme self is not the world, if the Fool stands on top of the world. And when we go to the minor arcana with the elements, we start at the bottom of the tree and we make our way up. Because once you get to the fire world, that's you tapping into your archetypal self, your divinity. Your divinity is not found on the earth plane. Your divinity is found in the fire world, not the world of Asia and the world of Atsaluf. Y'all see where I'm getting at? So you see, when you apply the law of reversal, you see it just makes supreme sense. You see how it makes supreme sense? Now try to find anybody else who has revealed that. And they're still doing their tarot readings. They're still, no. Find somebody else who revealed it just like that. But you see, you have to apply the law of reversal to comprehend that, which was brought to the surface by Aleister Crowley, which is why he is the most hated, because he was the one revealing the secrets that everyone else was trying to hold from you. That's all it is. He was the most hated because he revealed the secrets, not because of what type of lifestyle he lived or what he did and what he didn't do. He was the most hated because he put the secrets out there for those to grasp it, who were ready to grasp it. It's not that he was the only one that known. He was the only one revealing it. Everybody else was keeping it secret, keeping it, amongst the secret society. They didn't want to reveal it to you, but he revealed it to you, again, if you could comprehend it, though. Because you see, the average person is still looking at the fool as the fool. Let the fool card come up. In the average tarot reading, they're going to, okay, this is somebody who's kind of confused, somebody who's not really sure about themselves, right? You're trying to figure out what to do. You're foolish right now. They're not going to take it as, oh, shit, this is the Joker. This is the Trump card. This is somebody who's actually giving energy to the world. The world actually gets its energy from the fool instead of it being the other way around, right? So I'm not even going to make this long. There's really nothing else to say about that. That, you see, if you can comprehend that, that should be a game changer. Because you already are looking at this as stages of alchemy, so that means you just start going in reverse. So that means you go from the world or the universe to the judgment card or the Aeon card to the sun, right? The universe, the Aeon, the sun, the moon. Then you go to the star. Then you go to the tower. Then you go to the devil. Then you go to art. Then you go to death. Then you go to the hanged man. Then you go to adjustment, right? Then you go to the wheel of fortune. Then you go to the hermit. Then you go to lust. Then you go to, what's after lust? Well, not after lust. The chariot. Then you go to the lovers. Then you go to the hierophant. Then you go to the emperor. Then you go to the empress. Then you go to the high priestess. Then you go to the magician. Then you go to the fool. So you see, I do know it backwards. Because you see, if you know about heart, you're just doing it in reverse, right? But you see, that's, again, if you are already into the tarot, you can see how that completely changes everything. So while everybody else is, okay, you start at the fool, then you go to the magician, then you go to the high priestess, then you go to the empress, then you go to the emperor. No, you're actually starting at the universe. From the universe, you have a transformation called the last judgment. You come to the realization, oh shit, I gotta do something about this. You have a last judgment. Then from that, you become the sun. Like, oh shit, once you come to the realization, now you have to utilize your personal creativity. That's what the sun represents. It represents your personal creativity. Then you go to the moon. Now you gotta reprogram your subconscious mind. Then you go to the star. You become Aquarian in your thinking, right? You become an Aquarian thinker after you reprogram your subconscious mind. And from that reprogramming of the subconscious mind, you have a tower moment. Now you break down all the illusions which you created for yourself. And once you dissolve all the illusions, that's what makes you the devil. The 15th degree. Once you burn down, because to everybody else, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? It's like burning down your own house. Everybody's looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you burning down your own house? But as the devil, you're like, yo, I have to do this. I have to burn down my consciousness and become the devil because I'm so God influenced. I'm so pro-God, I need to acknowledge the devil. And from that, you go into art, which is temperance, which is balancing both worlds. One foot in this world, one foot out of this world. And when you begin to balance one foot in this world, one foot out this world, then you master death, which is the 13th degree. You go into the doff, which is the clip off, right? So not only do you master the Kabbalah, you master the clip off. Then in order to master the clip off, you become the hanged man. descending into the underworld, becoming the El Cristo Negro, becoming the Lord of the underworld. Then you adjust it. So now that you have, the Kabbalah and the clip off, now you became the master of the clip off. Now you balance both worlds. Adjustment. Then from that adjustment, you are able to change your fortune, aka your wheel of fortune. You're able to turn your wheel of fortune, which is alter your destiny. Your ability to alter your destiny makes you the hermit, because a hermit can see all things from the cave or the crystal ball. So you don't even have to literally go up and touch things no more. You can experiment remotely, remote experimentation. You don't even have to get your hands dirty no more at that point. All right? Which then leads you to the 8th degree of Leo, or lust, as they call strength now. Now you gain your strength, aka your lust, because now you're operating remotely. You can say from your astral senses. You are operating from the creative impulse instead of getting your hands dirty directly, which then makes you the chariot, which is the 7th degree. You become the chariot now. Again, that's your astral body. Now you're able to project yourself, be two places at once. And from being two places at once, that makes you the lovers, which is the twins, right? Two places at once. You see the twins, two places at once, which then makes you the emperor. The emperor is what? The one who can hold the bomb without it exploding, because you have mastered the fire element. Being two places at once, you have mastered your shadow, or your demon and your God, your demon and your angel. Now you can hold fire and it not explode in your hands. Right? Now you can go into the water and not drown. Right? You can hold fire without getting burned. You can go into water without drowning, which then takes you to the Empress. Right? Being a master of nature. Being a master of your heart, because the Empress takes you to Venus. Venus represents the heart consciousness. That's what it means to purify your heart. You become the master of elements to purify your heart consciousness, which is where all magic happens anyway. From the Empress, you become the High Priestess, which she sits between the two pillars, right? The light pillar, the dark pillar, the masculine and the feminine, which is androgyny. You become androgynous via the High Priestess, which then takes you into the Magician. Now from that androgynous state, can you manipulate the elements? And then you become the Supreme Master, the Fool. You see how that works? Now you tell me if anybody else's explanation of that makes more sense. Going from the Fool to the universe, or going from the universe to the Fool. Do trans people embody the Empress in the physical? Exactly. But they're doing it outwardly. They're doing it outwardly. What they're doing outwardly, you do internally. What they do outwardly, you do eternally. Meaning you know how to tap into your divine masculine and your divine feminine. And that's why you go from the Empress to the High Priestess. All right? You go from the Empress to the High Priestess. So you can say the Empress is, again, people, yes, that's doing it externally. But you know how to do it internally. You know how to absorb that energy and bring it inside you. Now you know how to bring out your divine masculine from within and your divine feminine from within, because you realize you are both anyway. So you're not putting something there that wasn't always there, that wasn't already there. You're bringing out what was already there. You're just comfortable with it now. Now you're a man and you can be comfortable in your femininity. Now you're a woman and you can be comfortable in your masculinity. That's when the woman becomes the Amazon. That's when the man becomes the prophet, the so-called Jesus, right? The so-called Christ. That's you embodying your opposite. So you're like, okay, as a man, you're like, okay, I need to work. No, you need to prophesize. You need to be able to predict the future. That's what people need you for, more so than you just working your ass off. Then as a woman, instead of, okay, I just need to clean the home, I just need to take care of the kids. No, you need to be the Amazon on the battlefield, make shit happen, which is what women want anyway, right? Just look at them. Just look at the modern world. That's what women want anyway, right? They want to be on the world stage. They want to be in the world making things happen. They ain't trying to just stay in the house, right? That's why we're going through this whole reversal of roles. Nobody really knows what role to play anymore, right? Because women are so dominant. So if you have a dominant woman and a dominant man, of course they're going to be competing against each other, and that's what's happening. Battle of the sexes. That's what that is. Battle of the sexes. It's not until the man becomes the prophet, the Christ, that there is no more competition. Like, yo, I'm not even. We're in two different worlds. Now you're in the world of the consciousness. Now you're in the cosmic world. You let the women have the world. Like, okay, you want the world, have it. I'll give it to you. I don't need to battle you. I don't need to be. I'm not in competition with you. I'm here to actually prophesize to you. I'm here to give you the game. I'm here to show you how to run the world. I'm not in competition with you. Because if you really play your cards right, if your woman runs the world, you run it too. Y'all both don't need to be on the throne. If she's on the throne, you're also on the throne too. But you see, it was never really a competition, but it only is on the surface. So once you move beyond the surface, you can see things for how they really are. It makes sense, right? So I'm just giving you this jewel because ain't nobody else gonna give it to you. But now you can advance yourself way further than anybody else can advance themselves, and that's why I'm here, to help you to achieve chambers that you otherwise are not going to be able to achieve, following behind anybody else's bullshit. So fuck the bullshit. We must evolve into the 21st century and embody this Inquiry information and truly prophesize ourselves outside of the matrix, and let your woman operate from within the matrix. You operate from outside the matrix. Instead of two people trying to embody the matrix at the same time. You operate from outside, she operates from inside. World peace, at least internally, within your own cipher. Fuck anybody else's cipher within your own cipher. Makes sense? Hopefully it does. And with that, I bear peace. 93, 93, 93.